every day our lives.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Atn Politics. Well, Atn Politics right here on the Atlantic Television Network. Atn Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. Well, today on Atn Politics, we'll be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. Well, we'll take a look at Jigawa State. Our people will pay you back in 2027. Namadi Al-Rufai to come home. And on PDP crisis, BOT inaugurates Committee over National Secretary position. Remember, we are open for advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotion and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We're going on a short break. When we return, Atn Politics continues. We'll also introduce our guests to stay with us.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Well, thanks for staying with us. You're watching ATN Politics right here on Atlantic Television Network. And joining us today on ATN Politics is Dr. Henry Bassi. He's a public affairs analyst. Good evening and welcome to ATN Politics today.
Victor.
Yes, Dr. Henry, it's good to see you. It's good to have you once again.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
All right. Well, let's delve into our series for today. We take a look at Jigawa State. Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should expect reciprocity from Jigawa citizens in the coming 2027 elections. The governor made this statement while speaking at the official launch of the distribution of ATM cards to beneficiaries of the federal government's second phase of the cash transfer program held in Dotse. He noted that the federal government has initiated various policies and programs through the National Social Investment Program and NSIP to tackle poverty and hunger across the country, including cash transfer, empower, school feeding, and the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program GEEP. He explained that under the second phase of the conditional cash transfer program, about 23,000 less privileged persons in the state will benefit, receiving 75,000 naira each. According to him, the launch of the second phase is in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, aimed at supporting the less privileged in society to improve their businesses. Our people have a good culture of repaying good deeds with good. I am sure the people of Jigawa will pay you back for what you have been doing for them. Therefore, on behalf of the beneficiaries in Jigawa State, we extend our appreciation to the federal government under Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the support, and we are confident that more of these initiatives would come. Governor Namadi emphasized that his commitment to fostering a mutually beneficial relationship with the federal government, ensuring that Jigawa State continues to thrive under Tinubu's leadership. He reiterated that his administration remains dedicated to policies that uplift the welfare of Jigawa citizens, pledging unwavering support for national development initiatives. Well, this is quite interesting. Here is Jigawa State, pledging their support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. I'd like to get your take on this, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Victor. I went through this story very, critically, and I saw that this statement coming out from the person of the governor of Jigawa State was on the event of launching of ATM distribution.
Okay.
ATM distribution. You see, I don't know, in this country, we should do things and know that we are monitoring by the international community. We shouldn't do things as if we are talking to ourselves all the time, because Nigeria is not an island.
All right.
They are being associated with other nations in the world. And therefore, whatever we are doing as a nation, people will monitor and know what we are doing. Now, aside from that, as a governor, giving assurance to Mr. President, look, come 2027, Jigawa State will vote you massively as a, as a way of telling you thank you for what you've done for us. But my point here is what led to this statement. What led to this statement? The distribution of ATM cards to the citizens of Jigawa State. For God's sake, this is a civilized world.
All right.
The ICT has taken over the entire world. So how come you then distribute ATM cards?
Well,
you understand? I'm coming
right.
to the citizens. You see, why can't you get the account number and transfer this money to the respective account than coming to for the distribution of ATM cards in this modern world? Does it show sense of belonging? Does it show sense of understanding how the world is moving? So for me, that is not telling well about us. It's somehow mockery about us in the international scene. Distribution of ATM cards, it's somehow. For me, about a statement concerning 2027, well, it is what every politicians are doing. You understand? The politicians are taking every opportunity, to say whatever their masters will say, well, you've done well, my boy, and so on and so forth. So for me, the statement is neither here nor there. Come 2027, Nigerians, not the governor of Jigawa State, Nigerians will decide who will lead them. And so if Nigeria said, okay, Tinubu, you've done well, you have to return, come 2027, fine and good. It is not in the hands of any governor. It is not in the hands of any politician. Let them know that it is a responsibility of Nigerians to elect who lead them. It is not someone somewhere sitting down to say, okay, this is what will happen. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any political permutation. It is for them to permutate. But at the same time, they should know that the power to choose lies in the hands of Nigerians. So for me, like I said earlier, the statement is neither here nor there, considering what precedes to that. It was in the event of distributing ATM cards. You understand? For what you think that it is their right. It is what the federal government, has said, okay, it should be given to Nigerians as a result of trying to, come into considering the state of situation of things in the country currently, because our economy is not okay, no matter how we look at it.
All right.
And so that is why the distribution of 75,000 naira to Nigerians is necessary, which for me, if you ask me as an individual, I will tell you that is not going to solve the problem of poverty in this country.
All right.
If we want to solve the poverty of this country, the right thing should be done at the right time. And if that trajectory is taken, I want to assure Nigerians that poverty will be taken headlong. But going by all this distribution of 75,000, 50,000, as the case may be, as a result of what do they call palliative, for me, is not in any way, and is not going to solve the problem of poverty in this country.
Well, this renewed hope agenda have sparked controversies online, as people are actually saying that some Nigerians are saying that, well, this is only happening in Jigawa State. There've never been other, states where we hear about these programs, such as the National Social Investments Program, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, as well as Cash Transfer and Empower, all of that. Well, this seems to be really taking effect, most especially in the north. And this is where Jigawa State comes into play. At this point, I'd like to get your take on this, because they've been saying that, why is this only happening in the north, and most especially Jigawa State? And now here is the Jigawa State governor coming to pledge people's support for Tinubu come 2027. Okay, do you think there is something in there? Okay,
since you've drawn my attention officially to this matter, I don't want to be sentimental on the who gain most, or which part of the country, which region and so on that benefited most on this. I want to be very generic in discussing this matter objectively.
Right.
Now, if we want to solve the problem of poverty, but how come this incentive, are being given to Nigerians? It's as a result of the economic situation of Nigeria currently, which is not favorable to us. And as a result of that, government came up with these palliative ideas of saying, okay, we want to see a way on how to ameliorate your sufferings of what you are going through at the moment of this economic crisis facing Nigeria. And so distributing or giving 75,000 naira or 50,000 naira, as the case may be, to Nigerians. And I keep saying it's not going to solve the problem of poverty. As it stands now, estimatedly Nigerians is about 250 million, as it is being estimated, because as it stands now, no one can actually say that, look, Nigerian population is so and so figure. But let us go by that estimation that Nigerian population is 250 million. Now, when you look at the current inflation, relate it to the index poverty in Nigeria, you can come up with a very good statistic to draw your analysis by saying that over 130 million Nigerians are wallowing into abject poverty. And so when you look at such people, whatever that comes to them, in fact, they can sing your praises any way you want them, because they said a hungry man is an angry man. And so whatever that gets to them as a stipend will be appreciated so very much in order to calm hunger. But for me, like I said, I don't want to go which section of the country that benefited much.
All right.
This program, so to say, does it stand a chance of eradicating poverty in Nigeria? Does it? If it doesn't, don't we have a better ways of designing programs and policies that will tackle this problem of poverty that is ravaging Nigerians to a very large extent, in order to know that yes, we've taken it, we've solved this problem to a very large extent. That going about of, because when a man is hungry and you call him, he says, come and take 50,000 naira. How many days do you think that money is going to solve the problem? Or giving him 75,000 naira to say, okay, we've just trying to help you. What will 70,000 naira do currently to a man who has nothing, to a man who is struggling to survive, to a man who is struggling to live, to a man who is struggling to see that his children have a better education, to a man who is struggling to ensure that food is on the table for his family? And so giving him 75,000 naira cannot, Victor, solve the problem, for God's sake. So for me, better ideas. Like I said here some time ago, that ICT is controlling the world. And there is huge job opportunities in that sector. So how do this government, federal government in particular, or the state government, what are their plans to ensure that people are get trained in this sector? For them to be self-reliant, for them to be self-employed, for them to get the skilled and exploited for the betterment of themselves and those who need help from them. Victor, this running around the circumference will not help us unless the right thing is done. And if the right thing is done, this problem can be solved once and for all. But if we keep running around the circumference, then the same thing will keep happening, and we keep blaming ourselves, and so on and so forth. So
when you talk about the right thing being done, I'm trying to get my head around this right thing being done. Are you saying that what the president did isn't enough? The initiative giving people funds isn't enough. I'm trying to get my head around it.
Thank you. You're trying to tackle poverty, right? Do you think if you see a man who is hungry to the extent that you give that man 100,000 and say, please go and help yourself, can that make him escape poverty? The answer is no. That man or that woman, that young boy or young girl is not going to escape poverty. What you end up doing, you want him to see what money can do, and the person will use that money the way he feels or she feels, and he will still go back to where he or she was. So for me, programs that has to do with the training of Nigerians, ICT sector, I make mention of the ICT, which is very huge. What about agriculture? What about the other sectors that is driven economy? And let me say this. Do you know that Nigeria macro sector of the economy is going down every day?
All right.
And so when the micro sector is going down, then there will be nothing for the macro sector, because it is the micro sector that is feeding the macro sector to be booming. And so for me, going about giving these people money, you are not helping them to escape poverty. Rather, you are plunging them the more into poverty. So for me, they know the right thing to do. I'm just giving this, you know, I don't like a situation where we think that everything has to be politicized.
Well, there's quite a lot to say about that, but then let's take a look at the next story. Let's look at PDP, where Tajuddin blames Atiku over 2023 election loss. Member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and former member of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Yusuf, has blamed the loss of PDP in the 2023 general election on its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. While speaking on the violence that disrupted the party's Board of Trustees meeting in Abuja on Wednesday, Yusuf said the opposition party might repeat its 2023 mistakes if care is not taken. He said the PDP lost the 2023 election because its presidential candidate was too cocky. According to him, the lingering crisis in the party is caused by the struggling for structure and power by some party members who are positioning themselves for the 2027 general elections. What you have seen ahead of 2027 is that people are struggling for structure, for who controls what, and to become the party's candidates. They forget the fact that being a candidate alone does not make you president. We lost the last election because I feel our flag bearer was too cocky and so sure he was the next president, Yusuf said. The ex-lawmaker reiterated that the PDP is not playing opposition as it should, stressing that the crisis rocking the party is orchestrated by overambitious party members. The PDP is not playing opposition as it should because the PDP finds itself in the quagmire of overambitious men who believe they must always run for elections. A political party should be robust and not be about you running for election, Yusuf said. He stated that the violence that met the BOT meeting was a manifestation of the struggle for control and power ahead of the next presidential primary. Atn gathered that Yusuf, who represented Kaba, Bunu, Ijumi constituency, admitted that the PDP's internal mechanism for crisis resolution has failed, adding that the violence witnessed during the BOT meeting was a manifestation of the party's leadership failure. While this is quite interesting as regards the PDP, because we keep hearing PDP having issues, internal issues, often and this is so disturbing. Well, this is Tajuddin saying that he all the blames he's pushing to Atiku, that Atiku was too cocky and that was the reason why they had to lose the 2023 election. But let me get your take as regards to that, Dr. Henry.
Cocky indeed.
All right.
It's very, very unfortunate that you hear this thing from a party that was once one of the biggest political party in Africa, not just in Nigeria, to be saying all of this without facing the problems squarely and see a way to resolving them than beating about the bush. This is not going to help them. We all saw what happened during the 2023 general election. And of course, where some persons felt that, look, this political party belongs to us. When we cough, the rest of the members of the political party will suffer. That is not how a political party is run or maintained. The day the political party is owned by some wealthy individual or well-to-do individual of the society, that was when the political party has gone into oblivion. I'm saying so because when the political party is owned by the people, run by the people, sponsored by the people, such political party has a long way to regain the interest of the people. But where a political party is controlled by those who think that they have what it takes, they have money enough to sponsor the political party, then interest of one person will be paramount in that political party. And that's exactly what PDP is suffering from. So for me, for a man of Tajuddin, a former member of the House of Representatives, to come up to say that, look, it was caused by Atiku Abubakar, I disagree with him wholeheartedly. I completely disagree with him. Now let's just take a look at what happens when Secondus, the former national chairman of PDP, was removed.
All right.
How was he removed? The way that man was removed from office, did that spoke well of the PDP as a political party? I mean, if you want to restructure your party hierarchy based on the positioning of positions and all of that, and you want to say, okay, this is where the chairman should go, and you can play that internally to reflect respect for rule of law, to respect what do they call internal democracy in that political party. But this one was just for one man to run to a particular court somewhere, file whatever he filed, and at the end of the day, that man was booted out of office. And that crisis started from there. And so Yoshayu was brought as the national chairman of the party. And so when the issue who will be the presidential candidate, who will not be, then we know what transpired. I don't want to dig deep into that. But you saw that when one person said, because I did not get the ticket of the party, this party is not going to rise up. That was one of the problems that plunged them into the maze they are in, even up till today. Because no one man is a political party. Political party is a conglomerate of different races in that particular territory, especially, and this has been in Nigeria. So how come some few persons own the political party without the people? Right. And for God's sake, the party itself, they say People's Democratic Party. Okay. And for me, it is not People's Democratic Party. It is party for in fact, the heavyweights, the politicians who have their say, and their say must stand in whatever they want.
Okay, Dr. Henry. Well, there was something that happened yesterday. The violence erupted when they had their BOT meeting yesterday, and it was so bad, like something someone would not want to see. I mean, but then there are questions. Okay, Tajuddin also made mention that this feud, what happened yesterday, because it erupted to violence. You know, their meeting erupted to violence, and Tajuddin is now saying that there is every possibility that they might also lose election come 2027, and he's also referring that's the reason why, you know, whatever they are doing right now, it's ahead of 2027, that they may lose that election. But then, looking at what happened yesterday, what transpired yesterday, the fight and all of that, do you think, or what do you think that will mean for PDP as a party or their internal structure?
Victor, watching that video clip yesterday, I wept for Nigeria.
All right.
As a country, because those goes that which happened at Abuja yesterday goes to explain the character behind these political parties. For God's sake, these are the people that Nigerians are expected, which for me, I don't even expect them to make any impact come 2027 because of the characters involved. How do you think that you will win election when your character is portraying a different thing, when your character is not portraying what Nigerians want at the moment because of what Nigerians are going through? Look at the show of shame yesterday that happens at Abuja, at Watata Plaza. Two persons laying claim to one position, national secretary of a party. Two of them had to fight dirty in the public. I'm ashamed of them. It's uncovered that such a thing happened. And tomorrow now, you will find them in one political position or the other. And they will tell the people, trust me, I will do better. So tell me, what character do they exhibit that will give the people that assurance, that will make the people to trust them to say, okay, you will lead us tomorrow or at one time or the other? Is it what happened yesterday? Victor, it's a shame. Seriously, it's a big shame to them, since they don't have anything tangible to do. Now, come to think of it, you have Senator Sam Ayawu and Ode Okoye. Now, from the feedback we got, an appeal court sitting in Enugu State has removed him from office. I'm talking about Senator Samuel Ayam, and installed Ude Okoye as a substantial secretary, because it happens during the 2024 Imo State governorship election. He left that position to go and contest, and probably he became the candidate of People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Imo State governorship election 2024. And luck ran out of him. He couldn't win that election. He came back. I do not know what the constitution of the PDP says about it. Now, if the constitution says that as one who occupies position in a political party, that you want to contest election, what is the PDP constitution saying as regards to that? Because for me, if they have respect for the rule of law, they have a clause in their constitution, which I want to believe, that talks about whoever that wants to contest any political seat, this is what they have to do. But they keep confusing, deceiving themselves, doing all these nonsense that is not projecting the image of that political party that whom they believe want to snatch power come 2027 from the APC. They are dreaming, seriously.
All right, so what would you make of the PDP's internal mechanism for crisis resolution at this point in time? Do you think they're effective? If they're not, what would you advise them to do?
It's like what happened yesterday, because this event that took place yesterday happened during the 79th meeting of the Board of Trustees of the PDP.
All right.
Okay, which Senator Adolphus Mwabara is the chairman, and the rest of the members were in that meeting yesterday. So at the end of that meeting, a communique was issued, and part of the communique was that, look, a committee was set up to see how to resolve this problem. Now, I want us to know this, that BOT, Board of Trustee of People's Democratic Party, and not only to People's Democratic Party, to any other political party, plays an advisory role, not an executive role. It is only the leader or the head of NWC have the power, as it is empowered by the PDP constitution, to set up a committee of inquiry, or any committee for that matter, to look into matters that happen within the party on how to resolve it. I wonder how that committee is going to strike in the first place, because the BOT chairman knows that they don't have such power. For me, it's just a mere exercise that will not yield any positive result at the end of the day. For me, since that thing happened, the PDP as a political party who want to reclaim power come 2027 must be decisive in their decisions.
All right.
There are some members that need to be disciplined, and they allow these people to still remain in the party, causing mayhem, creating more problems for them. How do you think they will achieve their aims as a political party when they know the right thing to do and they will not do it? And you expect solution to fall from heaven for you? It will not, unless you do something tangible, unless you do something that will ensure that at the end of the day, peace will reign in the political party. If not, they are wasting their time for nothing, doing all of this. See, let me tell you, Victor, they know the right thing to do.
All right.
They know the right thing. But because of this stupid politics you are playing here and there, because of one person, you key to this person because you are being favored by that person, you are being given one thing or the other by that person, and forget that a political party is not built on one person or a certain group of people. It has to do holistically, something that involves all the members on board. Because if you fail to do that, my dear, there is nothing good will come out from that committee. It will still go the same way.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Henry. You're watching ATN Politics. We're going to short break. When we return, ATN Politics continues. And when we return, we take a look at APC, where Bola advises El-Rufai to come home. To stay with us.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN.
Many thanks for staying with us. You're watching ATN Politics on Atlantic Television Network, and joining us today on ATN Politics is Dr. Henry Bassi. He's a public affairs analyst. We take a look at APC story now. Exchange of words between former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai and the Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Policy Communications, Daniel Bola, over the All Progressives Congress APC and the current administration has continued. Bola expressed his respect and admiration for El-Rufai's brilliance, advising the former governor to come home because he has toiled all night. In a post on his X handle on Thursday, Bola, a new convert to the APC, said his concern over El-Rufai's statement and action is that they are not born out of patriotism, but rather a need for vengeance. Still, my senior brother, at El-Rufai, I am sure you don't need anyone to tell you about my respect and admiration for you, not just for your brilliance, but also as one of the brightest we have from the northern extraction. I'm not stating it for the first time today, and you know that. My worry, however, is the motive behind your statements and actions. They are not born out of patriotism, but a need for vengeance. The opposition sees that singular element of vengeance as a veritable tool for your recruitment. With respect, I'm not a later day Asiwaju supporter. We both played our roles in his emergence as the candidate of the party ahead of the 2023 elections. And before then, whilst you were from the CPC extraction of the APC, I was from the ACN, which explains why I worked with Comrade Oshomole when he chaired the party, amongst other things, to protect the interests of Asiwaju, whom at the time you people vowed to retire from politics. I still think you don't need all these melodramatic activities or a vengeance mission. Come back and resolve whatever you think are your grievances, like the dignified man that you are. Our party, APC, as of today, remains the only organized party with identifiable structures across the country. So if you're looking for any symbol of democracy, it is still in your party. Please, senior, come home. You have told all nights. Well, Atn reports that El Rufai had doubled down on his recent attacks against the APC and President Bola Tinubu's government. He maintained that his party, the APC, and the nation are facing an existential crisis of monumental proportions. Oh, wow. That was a really tough battle. Yesterday, APC were saying Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Nasir El Rufai are just slamming the APC, so they should just rest. And here is Bola advising El Rufai to come back home, to stop your attacks on APC governments. Let's get your take on this.
Yeah, you see, I spent time to go through this story, also apply my technicality as well to x-ray the whole thing and see where this is coming from.
Okay.
You see, somebody asked a question yesterday when this matter, broke out, that if the former governor of Kaduna State were to be part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, will he have done what he's doing today? I think the answer is obvious, which I don't want to, say something about that. But now, his name was one of those nominees sent to the National Assembly by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom the Constitution has saddled with such responsibility to appoint the ministers that work with him as members of his cabinet. He did that, but at the end of the day, the name of Nasir El Rufai, I don't know what happened, whether the report that was sent by the DSS or any parastatals of the government did not favor him, which I don't want to go into. At the end of the day, he was screened out. And so looking what transpired between that time and now, you could see a kind of, trying to x-ray, some levels of unhappiness of what happened. Now, back to what Daniel Boaler, the special advisor or special assistant to the president on policy communication, have said so far concerned Nasir El Rufai. Now, let me also tell you this, on my own part, I respected somebody like El Rufai. I am telling you the truth.
Okay.
This is not a rhetoric.
So what prompts your respect
I
to El Rufai?
respected him because he's one of those Nigerians, especially from the northern extraction, that I respected so much, that understand the role of education in one's life. But at the same time, those that are deeply rooted in intelligence could come up to say things that sometimes when you look at it critically, it will prove to you that these people, who are there? What are they doing? No. But when you look at the statement that comes from him, because I read what he said yesterday, I read it, and when I appeared on a radio station yesterday, and I said that, look, you said the APC as a political party had something which they hold so dearly, that one of the ideals of the APC at its founding point was that they will fight corruption, improve the economic standard of Nigeria, and do other things that is expected of them to take Nigeria from point A to point B. But looking at it, it was in government for 8 good years. where we also have former President Buhari on seat as the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria at one time. Now, can we say that from the time Buhari was on seat, was Nigeria economy improved to the point that one can categorically say Nigeria economy was okay? Can we say so? Well, it is left for Nigerians to say, but for me it wasn't okay. The spilled up of what happened during Buhari's administration is what Nigerians is still suffering. In fact, it becomes worse now. So for him to say that the ideals of APC is built on improvement of economy, fighting of corruption, how did former President Buhari tackled corruption? And I don't want to be speculative here.
Okay.
From what you can read around, it's proven that during Buhari's administration, which was a part, corruption thrived even more than any other administration in this country. So I'm looking at those ideals which he made mention of. Now back to what Bola said about him. Well, Bola is a spokesperson to the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? So looking at what he said, Bola is not in any way disrespects the person of Nasir El-Rufai. No. Or abuse him in any way.
Okay.
I want you to take a look at that statement and go through it. You will see that it is not in any way. But meanwhile, it was telling him, look, you are somebody I respected so much. You are my senior. That respect I had for you in time past is still the same thing I'm still holding fast today.
No, so if I get you correctly, you're saying the stance, Bola stance on El-Rufai's statement, right? He's saying that, Bola is saying that El-Rufai's statement, El-Rufai's attack is born out of vengeance.
Of course.
Born out of vengeance?
I would say categorically yes. Now let me tell you, remember I began by saying that the whole thing started when he was screened out from the National Assembly, not to be part of Tinubu's administrative cabinet, right?
Okay.
Now, the thing started from there. Whatever agreement they had in the past before that time, I do not know, and I don't want to know, because this is Nigeria. We are talking about the development of this country. So whatever anybody sits at the back or sits somewhere that is not known to us or Nigerians, I think that should be judged in the first place. Now, looking at what Bola says, look, come back home. You cannot build a house and want to destroy it. They said somebody cannot, you have your house being set on fire and you're busy chased on something that is not valuable. So for me, Bola is not in any way undermine the person of El-Rufai, but is simply saying, sir, my senior, somebody I respected so much, please return home. Return to this political party which you were one of the founding members, which he himself, El-Rufai, has attested to it. So it means that when you build a house, you furnish that house, put everything that should be in a house, and now you want to destroy that same house you built. So for me, it's not the right thing. So Bola is simply saying, my senior, my mentor, please return to where you were. You've toiled so much. You work for this political party. So this is not the right time for you to destroy it. But at the same time, I want to say what he said, that look, even if he is in the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he will still say what he is saying.
Okay.
And I will say no to that.
All right. Well, it's quite interesting that here Bola maintained that the APC and the nation are facing existential crisis of monumental proportions. But what would you advise? It's good they are beginning to see, and he's even outspoken at this point in time. What would you advise?
Let them fix this country.
Okay.
Do you understand my point? Let them fix it. Because whoever that aspires to lead this country at any given time, it's expected that you have prepared, you are ready. And so you cannot tell me a man that was inaugurated on the 29th of May 2023 will say that subsidy is gone, and right from that day till today, Nigeria is not getting it well. And so, as a result of that, things are displaced, misplaced. A lot has happened within this period. And so, it will also take them to fix it back. And they should not cast aside the cost of this. It means that they are not ready to govern this country. So for me, as a government, they were ready.
All right.
So let them fix this country and stop casting aspersions or blaming anybody on the woes that this country is passing through at the moment.
Well, there are quite a lot to say, but then let's take a look at this last story and then we wrap it up on open conversation. Our People's Democratic Party (PDP) Board of Trustees (BOT) on Wednesday set machinery in place to resolve the crisis over the position of the party's national secretary. PDP BOT set up a committee contest between Samuel Anyanwu and Sunday Ude Okoye over who occupies the position of PDP's national secretary. The position became contentious after Anyanwu left to contest the Imo State governorship election, which he lost. Upon his return, Ude Okoye was endorsed by the party to fill up the position. On December 20, 2024, an appeal court in Enugu upheld the decision of a high court removing Anyanwu as PDP secretary and affirming Ude Okoye as the authentic secretary. However, during a communique issued at the end of its 79th meeting, the Board of Trustees at its 79th meeting today, Wednesday, January 29, 2025, critically assessed the state of affairs of the nation and the party and resolved as follows. The BOT expresses serious concerns over the unresolved challenges facing the party, especially as related to the disagreements within the National Working Committee. The board calls on the members of the NWC, all organs, leaders and critical stakeholders to our party across board to rise above personal, group or sectional interests and place the stability, unity, sustenance and progress of our party and its ideals above all other considerations. Well, Dr. Henry, we're out of time, so just quickly, already you said you do not want to take more as regards to this, but then let's quickly hear you. What's your take on this, about the BOT meeting yesterday?
Well, Victor, I said that BOT is one of the organs of the political party, not just in PDP alone.
All right.
It also exists in other political parties. But for them, during its 79th board meeting, approved and agreed that, look, a committee has to be set, in place to ensure that the crisis that is bedeviling the party is resolved. It's a good thing. But I also said that, do they have that constitutional right? I'm talking about PDP constitutional right to set up such committee to look into this matter and then resolve it. Like I said from the onset, they played an advisory role as BOT. It is only the NWC that has the power to do things like that. But I do not know whether there is a section in their constitution that empowered him. I'm talking about the chairman of the BOT, that is Board of Trustees, to have done that. Be it as it may, he might have that power. I do not know.
Okay.
Anytime soon. They know the right thing to be done, and if they fail to do it, this will continue until 2027.
Well, let's take fingers crossed in anticipation as we await their ethnic meeting come February 2025. Probably that might help in solving.
Well, let's see what comes out of it at the end of the day.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry Bassi, for your in-depth analysis and your time always on Atn Politics.
Thanks for having me.
Look forward to having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. Remember, we are open for adverts, placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotion and commercials. Or you can connect with us on all our Atn socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you so much for watching. I am Victor Peter.
It all on Atn Politics today.